This sounds so mean to say. I don't mean to be mean like this. This Abby person is like pretty clearly like mentally unwell, and they absolutely roped her in. If that happened, I would go to the deep jungles of Brazil, and I would recall every single word that was said exactly during that hearing. This is a quick meme because I saw some people discussing this. My best friend was on Twitter yesterday having an epic crash out. People are arguing whether or not you have to respond to a subpoena for a civil case. So one, generally, it requires some kind of response. But people are talking about whether you have to be involved in a case or if it's your choice or whatnot. The thing is that this is not like a random person who's being subpoenaed to join the case. This is somebody who has filled out an affidavit. They've attached a declaration swearing that they would testify to this in court. So yes, they do have to make themselves available for deposition. You cannot, you can't say something, fill out an affidavit, attach it to some lawsuit, and then dodge service or subpoena until the day of the trial and then just show up. Like, we have a right to depose an opposing person. Also, just as a heads up too, not that this matters and this is all just federal rules of civil procedure, I still don't have like half the shit that these losers have filed to the court. They haven't made any of it available to us. All of those things that you see where they've got like redacted names and shit, for like half of these, I've never gotten an original that's been sent to me. I like, it's just, which you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do that. It's violating the rules of civil procedure. But yeah, this was funny. I don't know why she admitted, well, probably because she didn't realize it was probably not a good thing to do, but. Can they get away with that though? No, but they're not trying to like, people are like looking at this as a case that they're trying to win, but they're not trying to win it. They're just trying to drag this out as much as possible. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they got a bunch of bad rulings on these upcoming motions. If they did, that they would like dismiss the case. Like, I have no faith in them actually handing over like what we've asked for in discovery. I don't think they'll do it. And if they do, I think they'll hide in obscure stuff. I don't think they're even trying to win at trial. I think they're just doing everything they can to survive the motion for summary judgment so that they can drag it out as long as possible. Like, I think that's it. I think it's more incompetence than intentional. No, it is intentional. It's not incompetence. It is intentional. This Abby person is like pretty clearly like mentally unwell, and they absolutely roped her in with like an absolute bullshit claim. Like, you have to know how bullshit it is if you're trying to rope in a witness who is literally telling you, I literally can't prove anything that I'm saying right now. And also, I might have gone through his entire computer, and there might be like photographic evidence of me doing that when I was at his house. Like, you know that, like, if it were to go to trial, like, imagine that person on the witness stand, right? So you've given like 3 different testimonies about what it is that you even saw or was sent to you. Because initially she said like she saw videos of like me and Cherry fighting. These videos don't even exist. I've never done these at all. But she can be like, well, I misspoke there. And it's like, okay, well, in your declaration you said that he sent you these things. It's like, okay, yeah. And it's like, were you or were you not in his apartment taking pictures of his computer? It's like, well, yeah. Is there a chance you saw stuff then? I don't know. What do you mean when you texted Darius, major leaks incoming? Well, I was just joking. And then I can produce both of our logs on my side. So there's like, it's like, this is like, it's just, they know that it's fucking bullshit. So it's not, I'm sorry, just to stress, it's not like an accident, and it's not them like making mistakes. They're intentionally like playing games. They're just using the court to do the PR stuff, basically. Is there any downside for them doing this? Theoretically, the downside is court costs and reputation. Pixie has no reputation, and I think that they're working pro bono, or it's a family friend, is my guess, so. Do you think that their goal is to just survive the trial and hope a jury sympathizes with Pixie more than they might be swayed by the emotional shit? Not to sound like an asshole, but the problem is that the real world is not like, this sounds so mean to say, I don't mean to be mean like this, but the real world is not the same as the online world. Like, in the real world, even if I was at fault, like, women are hardcore slut shamed still in the real world. Like, a jury is probably going to be more sympathetic to me than they are to her. I know everybody has this fantasy in mind of, oh, they're going to see this guy as a fucking monster, blah, blah, blah. But they're not going to see that. They're going to see, oh, this is a girl who recorded videos with a guy where she sent videos of her and her boyfriend to this guy, and he sent videos of him and his wife to this girl, and, you know, they've been doing all this shit trading around. And then she's like, you really think a jury's going to say like, oh my God, this is like horrible? Like this is like an online position of like everybody is a gaslighter. Most people, especially like older people, Gen Xers and older, are going to look at it and be like, oh wow, these are some fucking horny, stupid kids. These are some crazy, wacky kids doing some stupid shit. How can you ever go to trial in federal court when the subject matter jurisdiction isn't even there? Well, they're trying to, Abby lets them push the subject matter jurisdiction issue by saying that we have somebody who's willing to testify that he sent her a video in 2023 or whatever. That's her testimony. Now, how is a judge? The question will come down to, for a summary judgment, the question will come down to whether or not a judge looks at that and says there is an actual factual material dispute. There's a material dispute in fact that technically can only be resolved in front of a jury or judge if it's a bench or a judge trial. But I don't know how conservative or how liberal, not like in a political sense, like judges look at evidence like that. That alleged transmission to Abby wasn't connected to the leaks that resulted on Kiwi Farms, right? Correct. Yeah, and then there's the whole question of even like damages because I want to read the transcript. When they go over at the end of the hearing, because they're trying to argue for why they also have the cybersexual harassment thing included. And then the judge is arguing with them about foreseeability. And the judge is like, well, how is it that you can say this person did this with like malicious intent? And like, well, anytime you send a video like that, you have to accept that it could end up online. And then the judge is like, isn't that exactly what your client did? and they're like, well, yeah, but it's different because well, you know, there was consent there or whatever. And it's like, what is the difference here? Like, even if it was non-consensual, like, isn't like what foreseeability is what we're talking about, right? So that would mean that sending anything, because the oh my God, her lawyers are so cringe. I feel like that when it felt like they thought they were in a TV show and they're like asking me these questions, like they have like these killer gotchas and they're like the dumbest gotchas in the world. It's like, bro, I don't remember how much of this I talked about. But he's like, you testified today that you actually didn't have your law firm contact Kiwi Farm. So did you lie earlier when you said that you did? And I'm like, I had my assistant contact them. My assistant is not my lawyer. And then every time they would get like shut down in a line of questioning, the judge like picks his papers up and he like shuffles them. I could tell that he's like aborted a whole line of questioning. Given that Jane also sent your videos without your consent, do you not have a good chance of winning, even if hypothetically you sent videos after the Cardi date? Like, does Abby even matter beyond keeping the case alive? Even if the Abby stuff was true, which it's not, but even if it was, there are still like a bunch of other issues that you would even have to fight to get to a win, let alone damages. But it's technically, I'm trying to think of, actually, I don't even know how that would work. Like, let's say some law was passed in 2024 that said you can't say fuck you to somebody, and let's say somebody says fuck you in 2023, and then in 2024 someone's like, well, fuck you. Could you sue the second person? I don't know how that works. I'm not sure. I hope there is an unclean hands defense on the basis of her sending your videos. Okay, I don't like that this fucking meme gets passed around so much because people keep saying this. People keep saying this thing. It's like, okay, well, Destiny might have done a bad thing, but she did a bad thing too. No! That means that nobody did a bad thing. That, like, people say two wrongs don't make a right, but in some circumstances, they kind of do. For instance, if one side is being accused of raping a party, and then it turns out, actually, no, the other side wanted to rape the other person, that doesn't mean that two people raped each other. That just means they had sex, right? So, like, if there's an agreement or discussion beforehand about, like, you know, who do we send these videos to, or what is the policy around this? And then there was an agreement and then an understanding at least there, right? It doesn't mean like, oh, I guess both sides violate agreements. Like, oh, well, the agreement was probably not what this one person who's lied about like 20 different things has presented it as, you know? What would you do if they drop the case but the hearing stays sealed? It seems like the hearing being sealed would mean a good amount of reputational. No, that can't possibly be. They can't do that. No way. I think that here's what, if that happened, then what I would do is I would go to the deep jungles of Brazil and I would take ayahuasca and I would convene with the gods. And while convening with the gods, I would sit down with pen and parchment and I would try my best to recall every single word that was said exactly during that hearing. And then I would read my recollection on stream. That's what I would do, okay? Is there anything in motion right now for countersuing Doe or Abby? No. Although I don't know if, I don't know what the validity of any case there would even be or what that. The problem is that the problem is that I have a real law firm that likes to win cases. So if I just want to do some vexatious litigation shit, I'm like, can we just sue these motherfuckers? I don't think they would go for it just for the memes, right? That's like more meme-y shit. Doesn't the judge need to order it dismissed? They can't decide that on their own? No, you can dismiss your own cases. For instance, when Tim Pool claimed that he was going to sue Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for misquoting a clip of his on Twitter because he wanted all the clout of saying he sued them for $600, he withdrew that case voluntarily. Are you going to retaliate against Lauren? I mean, how? I mean, there's a whole ass conversation that needs to be had. I don't know how to... This is like a whole thing. Me and Dan should have just talked about this on anything else. We talked about this off stream. I've talked about this on stream a lot.